We got some noise going on today. I don't know what that is, but try to sort that out in a little bit. We'll get it sorted. All right, we're back. Thanks for tuning in. If you are, hey, we get some noise in the system. All right, interesting. All right, we'll sort that later. So yeah, what are we doing today? Well, thanks to some awesome viewers in the last stream who really helped us out, we are moving on quite nicely in our granular reverb. So let's go ahead and pull this up. And yeah, so shout out Big Imp who was here last time. Really, really helpful. And yeah, we'll see where we're at today. Cool. Okay, so if you can see there, they were able to help us out by getting some of these touch parameters to actually control our volume and frequency here. So we have a few things to solve today. We need to figure out why some of the params aren't working, which I felt like we had a little data on. And I also just want to like reverse engineer some of this stuff we were helped out with, just to know exactly what we were doing here. That was a big breakthrough. Definitely a lot of thanks to them for doing that. So that's much appreciated. And yes, I am listening to this corny God tone music. I basically can't get over this. I kind of prefer when there's a live chat going on though, and you can just kind of engage with people. I think the future of online interaction is through like the YouTube comments on a long song and DJ mixes. So that's my hot take for 2024. But yeah, so huge breakthrough there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out why all the params aren't working. We're gonna scale it to something more usable, right? Because right now it's still a little abrupt and random. And then we may be good to go of trying to port this back into our main website, which was kind of the beginning of this entire project. So that would be super awesome if we could do it. And yeah, so all exciting stuff. Yeah, pretty stoked on that. So I don't think there's anything else we should tackle. That'll probably get us through tonight, would be my guess. But you know, eventually just to make this more musical and to maybe get a cooler looking interface. See, that's the, yeah, you gotta watch the scaling. I mean, that's something we can do too. Okay, scale more usable interaction, and then a more usable range. I don't think we ever needed to get that loud. Cool. Yeah, it's just scary. It's scary at this point. I may be getting over the God tone. I hate to say it. Respectfully. So first things first. Okay, so let's pop open our console. And we're seeing a bunch of errors, which is all right. Let's see what happens. This one isn't quite hitting for me.
how did I manifest my dream husband in just 2 weeks?
Whoa, I gotta watch this
used
ad.
a certain set.
There we go. We vibey now. There we go. There are our errors. Okay. Let's maybe take another look at what happened last time too. All right, we're back. We're back. Yeah, so maybe even before we dive into the parameters here, that's so funny I'm muted again. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So before we dive back into these parameters, right, that's giving us the sound, let's take a look at some more of these errors, because we're having this error, re-render is not defined, and I think that was with the help of our friend last week who wanted us to pass this re-render function. Now my question is, okay, so clearly we need that. When we get rid of that, that's actually causing an error, right? So let's bring that back. Now, you know what? Chrome, be more like Firefox and allow me to mute my tabs just by pressing the volume icon. Sucks after right click. Okay, so let's take a look. So uncut reference re-render is not defined. Let's look at where that is. So that is in this app.js, and this is kind of where all the code's kind of happening, right? Everything that's kind of generating the sound and rendering this nice big circle. So let's just find where this is. What line is this at? 252. Do I need this? What happens if I delete that? I'm going to save it. Let's refresh. Okay. So I think we're good without that re-render there. All right, we're not getting any errors. Oh, what? Pause and debugger. Cool. Okay. So we don't need to call it there. And let's maybe take a look at that code again, because this is what our great friend, friend to the channel, Big Imp, helped us out with last time. So what did we do here? We add an event listener, listening for input. And each time that event was triggered, we would get param.value and then assign that to the event.target value. Okay, so that was put on an event listener. My question is, do we actually even need this code? Did we work around this? Because if I, okay, we're pausing here. Okay, so I think our code is working okay. Oh, it's good. Okay, awesome. Step, what's going on? I think I was working on this last time you came through. So same kind of project, but I had someone really helped out last week, or I guess it was just Monday. And basically, I've just been like kind of kicking dust, and they just gave me a few tips, which were super helpful to actually allow us to interact with the shape, which is, it's clearly a weird interaction right now, but at least we're able to control it. Right. So what did they actually do? Which is a good question. So what did they do with us? So let's see. They did a couple things. Well, maybe I'll just go over it real quick. So first things first, we created this use state here. And we clearly need this use state. If I log this out, our patch breaks. Maybe it's just because that element's no longer defined, but let's bring that back for now. Okay, so we're back working again. So okay, so oh no, now I can't. Now the slider doesn't work. Interesting. Okay, maybe I do need some of that code. You know, you think you're sharp, and then you know, there it goes. So okay, let's bring some of that code back. Okay, so I guess this allows both things to happen. Because I think in this case, it's taking any event and giving us that float value, and then sending this re-render function, which we call up here. So basically, we're passing that re-render function, which is essentially just changes the value of to, I guess, a Boolean, right? You're just flipping the value. I guess my question here is, so we're going from false to true on state. So it's basically allowing us to update the state, which is maybe why it's actually sticking versus it kind of bouncing back. Okay. So we're passing re-render, and the state is starting as false, and we're just sending re-render to the opposite of whatever it was. So I guess that allows us to update. And let's look at the other code then, because we know we need that code later on. In this, I forgot exactly where they put this one. This is what we need to fix today, but we just need to find this other code, which I think was like DSC. Just got to find exactly where this is. Okay, here we go. So, oh no, that's the for each. That was already there. Let's just go through this a little bit. Okay, so it's these find parameters up here. Okay, so what were we doing here? Okay, so we have our params, right? Volume param equals device parameter find. And then we're essentially just assigning this the param value. I do want to console log these, though, just to see what shows up. So let's do that. And let's look at our console. Let's refresh, show more, which should run that. Interesting. Okay, let's just try one. I assume that would have showed up, but let's try this again. You know what? I guess this has to happen in this mouse down function. So it should show up now when I click on this circle would be my guess. Okay, there we go. So here we go. Not the most legible thing in the world, but let's see if we can read a little bit. Okay, here we go. So yeah, we get its ID, we get the index, we get the initial value, min, max, name, etc. I wish this was a little more legible. If you have any ideas of how maybe to make this a little more readable, that would be cool. Just go to elements, maybe. Well, this should give it to us in real time, huh? So let's try this. Okay, so we're able to get our values there, which is great. Can I do .id? Is that going to work? Would that work? Inspect, console, clear it, volume. There we go. So let's see if we do .id, if that still helps us out here. Now I think this should be the same. This may not work because I actually don't see ID as an option, but I'm curious about this. Let's refresh, show more. Oh, that was a loud one. Okay. So that seems like that's working all right. Cool. Okay, so we'll just keep it with name. I just wanted to double check that. And we do see name here, which is great. So that's what we're doing. So we're basically finding that parameter whose name is that. It's going to return, I guess, the object, right? So if we wanted to see more things in this object, right? I'm curious if we could console log that. Okay, so let's do that. Let's return the first thing. I just need to get a little better like object notation and arrays, because so what should this do? This should give us back the type, right? If we find it, and then now that we find it, we want to find the first element of the array. Will this work? I'm not sure. Undefined, okay. That's all good. Assume this is undefined as well, which it is. So how might we get more information out of this, right? Console, display name, volume, ID, index equals 4, min max. Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out exactly how we get this name, right? DSC parameters, this is what we export from Rainbow. And then, yeah, this is what we use to find said items. But now I'd love to be able to pull more stuff out of this. So would it be dot? That feels weird. And clearly doesn't work. So I think like dot, you know, initial value. I think this will work in like plain English, right? I mean, let's try that. So let's go maximum. I think this should be, you know, 158, because that was what we set the max to in Rainbow. So let's check that. Let's refresh. Okay, let's do that. Undefined. Okay, well, I spelled maximum wrong. That's probably not a good start. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Maybe we'll ask the AI real quick. Oh no, did it already not work? Too loud. I'm sorry about that. Okay. So what are we doing here? So we're looking at the device, we're looking at the parameters, and we're finding one that matches the name volume. So I think if we wanted to do this again, we could do constant volume param. Yeah, thank you. Maximum. Interesting. Dot maximum. Okay. Let's see. What's gonna what are you gonna do for me right now, Chat GPT? Are you right? Looks like a big fat undefined. Maybe I did something wrong there, but oh, you know what? I'm not actually. Let's console log the name of that variable. Cool. Let's try that. Oh, something blew up. I bet you it's just the syntax error. Excuse me. Okay, let's try this again. Unfriggin' defined. Undefinable. All right, there it is again. Okay. So let's do what we were originally doing. Okay. So find p dot maximum. This kind of eliminates the purpose, right? Because we already know that. So do we need to find a different method here? So for parameter p, find p dot maximum. This is going to be tough because this is, I guess, going to return the first one that has a maximum. I bet you we'll just get undefined again, but let's try it. Yep, there's our classic undefined. All right, so let's undo that. Okay, so right now we can control the param based on its name. Okay, let's ask the GPT. How would I return another value? See if this is useful. Okay, to find the maximum value. This doesn't look right. It's probably bad questioning or prompting. Okay, to find the maximum value of the device parameters, you can use math-max function in combination with map. Here's how you can do that. Max parameter value, so math.max. Device parameters.map. So this would maybe find the highest value of all of them. So this code first creates an array of all the parameters using the map function. Then it finds the maximum value in this array using math.max. The spread operator is used to pass all the elements of the array as arguments to math.max. Okay. Yeah, not what I wanted. This is why I'm a little confused. Yeah, so, okay, so we figured out the volume. Console log volume param dot exponent. All right, so that's what we wanted. Dot this should be 30 to match initial value. There we go. Okay. Cool. Okay. So getting a little sidetracked. So let's go ahead and try to fix this error, right? Re-render is not defined. Let's go back to 252. Okay, let's go back to 252. So what are we doing here? And when is this event listener created? Okay, so we're adding this onto the event listener. And let's take a look at this code up here. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you're around, but what are you working on at the moment? And then for this app.jsx, we pass in this re-render. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I know. It's so hard not to add new stuff. And then it's like, yeah, the bugs, the polish, and the videos, that all takes so long, right? Let's see what's going on here. We'll just take a little brief stop here. Have you checked out any of the new Macs, the kind of the Max 8.6 stuff regarding controllers? Are you using that stuff or not? We may have chatted about this before. I'm not sure if we did. This is so cool though. Oh, you are using Gamepad. Nice. Are you doing any like college visits or anything like that? Are you doing any workshops around this, or is that something you're trying to do? This is such a world of stuff you have. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I forget. I'm not to dox myself. Not enough people watching to dox, but yeah, I'm New York based too. Yeah, it'd be cool. We should like link up sometime on the Mac stuff. There's like always talks of user groups happening. There used to be one at a spot called Cute Lab in like the Gowanus area. It would be cool to get that going again and talk about that stuff too. But it's like, yeah, what a good place for like tuba players and experimental music, new music side too. I feel like you'll have a lot of interest. It's cool that you built like a whole ecosystem. Oh, you're in Mass now. Okay, cool. That's awesome you visited. Yeah, I haven't been there in a minute too. I need to get over there as well. going to sign up for your mailing list. One sec, I'm going to go off screen. You'll know my email. Yeah, let me know when you're back in New York. Oh, nice. Okay, I don't know Picapods. Do you run anything else on here? I need to like get more. I have like server space through my WordPress site, but it'd be cool to get something else available. Yeah, I was gonna ask. I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Some like, yeah, I don't know, some machine learning library or something. That's probably a ton of space. All right, so. This error is kind of killing me. Let's see. Are you using any like AIs? Are you using ChatGPT? That would be, yeah, that would be sweet. Some like collaborative thing or something like that. Like hackathon or something. But like, yeah, you're pulling from like a hosted content or something. What does that do? Is that for like converting videos or things like that? I've just like got Copilot, which is kind of, uses like GPT 3.5 half the time. So it's like you're paying money, but it's not the best. Obviously, it's nice it's integrated here, but that's maybe the main benefit. But we can read this. What does this say? So, God, I just have so much drone going on all the time. Okay, and the provided code re-renders defined in the app component in app.jsx. Yes, we know that. If you're trying to use a re-render another file, it won't be accessible because it's not in the same scope. To fix this, you need to ensure that re-render is defined in the same scope where it's being used. If re-render needs to be used in app.js, you could consider passing it as a parameter to the function exported from app.js. Okay, which I think we did. Remove the re-render function to app.js. Here's an example of how you might modify app.js to accept re-render as a parameter. Okay. This looks like our code. Oh, cool. Okay. I'll take a look at these. That's sweet. Yeah, I'm very curious about like the Sora stuff and it just makes our life easier. I'm not going to be like a 3D animation artist as much as I'd like to be. So to have some off-the-shelf stuff would be awesome. But it sounds like you're doing this for conversion. Are you like upscaling or something? Okay, so how you might modify app.js to accept re-render as a parameter. Brother, I think it is. I think we have that. I think that's what's in our code. I think we're sending re-render here. We have re-render defined here. Interesting that re-render is not defined, although it is being used to update state. So oh, nice. That's kind of cool to automate that, though, not have to like go into Adobe or Affinity. Yeah, see, that's cool. Yeah. I use Affinity, which I used to really recommend because it's cheap. I think it's like $70. It used to be like $50. I think during the pandemic it was like $25. But now they just got bought by Canva, who are known for their subscription services. So it's kind of funny. I mean, in some ways, like some of these editing softwares are shooting themselves in the foot a little bit with these subscription services. Because it's like, yeah, if you could just throw that into a script and it does half the work. I mean, I guess that's what Canva's doing anyway, right? Versus like Adobe, people are like, oh, it does, a lot of the work for me, saves me a lot of time. So that's awesome. Re-render is not defined. Okay, so show more click. We're doing the opposite of that. The state here is a little confusing to me because, and this is what this person was trying to explain. God bless their amazing souls here. So basically, this re-render is just updating state to true or false. Okay, so I just don't think we had a call render there. I felt like we just had that issue and it kind of screwed us over, but that feels like that's fixing that error. Listen to that like sine overtone. Okay, that is coming from there. Okay. I was going a little crazy. Okay, I think we're good. And are we calling re-render? I guess we're passing it in, but maybe we don't need it. I feel like we've somehow cheated this and things are about to break, but cool. Okay. I think we're good. Let's go with that. Let's go with that for a little bit. So cool. All right, let's get back to where we started then. 1 hour into the stream. So why aren't all the params working? So we go to things like grain length. All types of errors here. Cannot read properties of undefined reading text. And we're getting that for a couple of these, right? Start time, it's happening. But our base frequency, we don't. Our volume, we don't. Our trigger frequency, we don't. But it looks like grain length and start time. I think we made a note of that. So let's go to grain length. Where do we actually define these parameters? Okay. So I think it's here. So, okay, device parameters. So, you know what, I think it's because this is where it's given me the errors. So let's inspect one more time, because I'm like, that doesn't look like that would be it, but if we look at the line of the errors, 282. Now my question is, you know what, before we mess with this, which we will, let's see if we can actually call them by ID up here using the same type of reasoning. So let's do const grain length param. Oh, chat. Let's go. Let's go, Copilot. See, I mean, that's helpful. Okay. So we're targeting that. Then we're going to make grain length. Yeah. Cool. It's decided 0.1 is going to be the scaling, but I'm not going to, let's not fuck with that. Let's try that. Okay, so it looks like it's undefined from what we can gather. So before we do that, let's just console log it. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen NeoVim. I'll check that out. Yeah, I'm not like a huge Microsoft guy, but like, I don't know, Xcode just feels good. And they don't feel like the most design forward people typically. I'm sure they bought VS Code from someone else back in the day. But especially with the Copilot integration and stuff, like, it's pretty nice. What do you like about NeoVim? It's cool you can add contributors directly to it. That's nice. Yeah, that's nice. I like lightweight. I felt like Adam was good for that too. I mean, this is, you know, it is starting to get heavy. Oh, that's cool. I mean, yeah, it's kind of, if you're doing software to be like, you know, deeply into like the Microsoft ecosystem or whoever else, it's like, I feel like there's a big independent streak for any of this stuff. Oh, it's made in Lua, which is cool. It's interesting there's like a bunch of Mac stuff made in Lua too. I think those like Dylan Baston devices use Lua. If it's the same, I'm thinking of, but it probably is. Okay, let's... Clearly this is undefined. We may have to rebuild the rainbow patch. I'd like to know why it's not working, but let's console log this. And let's see what we got. So we'll inspect. We'll definitely just get undefined. So let's see. I think we know trigger frequency is working. So let's see if we can get trigger frequency. It's so funny. Some of these are using camel case, some of these aren't. Maybe I just fucked up. Maybe this isn't camel. Maybe it's all lowercase for grain length. Let's see. No, we have, oh, it is all lowercase. Okay, that could very well be it. Okay, let's try this again. And let's get our console going. Okay, yeah, we're good. So something's wrong with our slider creation. Because I think if we did what we were doing, yeah, autocomplete with Copilot's nice. I don't know. Even if it's hallucinating shit, it's just writing a lot of it for you. So now... Okay. Well, it's controlling it, I think. Our scaling's wild. Okay. That's so weird. Why is it just 0 and 1? So we may have fucked up on the param creation. This doesn't feel like a very usable range for grain length, right? And maybe that's leading to some of our errors. So we know that's not working, and we know, I think start time isn't working. And start time is also the 0 to 1, which is fucking wild, right? Start time isn't 0 to 1, so that range is not great. This range is not great. And let's see if this trig frequency has a useful range. Although I frankly don't really know what this parameter does, so we may have to just rebuild the patch. As icky as that sounds. Yeah, are you using like GPT or like is it SUSE? What's that other company? Archaic AI. Amazon just gave them $2 gajillion today, I think. Anarchic. Their biggest trouble is their difficult name, I think. But are you using that or using GPT? What's been your go-to when you are like doing these scripts you were talking about? Okay. So I think we just need to do some scaling. These shouldn't be 0 to 1. That's probably sending some type of error. I'm a little scared about rebuilding this whole thing, but we can do it. Cool. So, all right. I mean, I think we may have figured out that issue why we're not able to control them, because they're 0 to 1, and that may not be a useful range for us. Yeah, I mean, yeah, me too. I mean, it's kind of like anything else, right? The competitors come and you're like, which one should I use? Which one should I use? And use it to accomplish your goals. You probably don't need to like look at the ELO ratings, although people keep on updating these ELO ratings for like which one's the fastest. LLMs, because I think this new, I say don't, like we shouldn't do this right as I do this, but yeah, okay, so GPT-4 loses to Claude 3. It's funny, I think it's like kind of like something you see in gaming. I don't exactly know how it works, and maybe it was like chess at first. If someone in chat knows what an ELO rating actually means, please chime in and I'll turn this off. But it's interesting you can apply that same like kind of ranking to large language models. So here we go. I don't have a Twitter. Oh, and it's Anthropic AI. So yeah, I mean it's barely beating GPT-4, excuse me. But it's pretty cool that they have a competitor. They just got $2.5 billion from Amazon, so I'm sure they'll be looking good. And then, like, is Facebook even on here anymore? Dude, UC Berkeley is maybe outdoing Facebook. They're probably Llama. They're probably working on their new one. Yeah, Chad, if anyone knows what an ELO rating is, that would be awesome. If you have any insight on that. But I like Claude 3. The design looks cool. I think Anthropic maybe has like good like safety principles around AI. I mean, how good is that? And you're also taking billions of dollars from all these other big corps, but seems like a cool company. I mean, they all see, they're all doing cool work. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Stability, they do... Stable Diffusion and stuff like that. I'm sure they have some cool stuff in the pipeline. Yeah, it's going to be like crazy in the next couple of years, it feels like, with all this stuff coming out. Really, I just need these God tones. I need an AI to write me just God tone music, which I feel like is pretty good. I basically just want to make this music now. I don't know what the hell's happened to me. But now in Ableton Live 12, we can use, we could tune to 963. We can do it. Okay, so we probably have to rebuild our patch, which kind of sucks. That's what I think we'll probably have to do. So, sorry. And we definitely need to make this work a little better. So let's maybe work on scaling a little bit. Let's maybe try that. This is going to be pretty funny. I'm just going to type like -50. Is that going to make our volume quieter overall? Okay. This is some dumb math, but that's all I can do. So, but it's actually looks like it's limited. So let's like do -20 so we don't blow our ears out. more than that. 40. Let's do that. Okay, let's do minus 80. And we know the max value is 158, so let's just make sure this actually works. Oh, that's still pretty friggin' loud. Oh, seriously? Okay. I'm gonna make a serious note on that. Because, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm sorry. That's not good for anyone involved. It's like all things audio. It's just, that's the worst look in the world. It's either no volume or too much volume. Horrible look. FFZ. Is that like a plugin? You like use that in OBS or something? This is one thing. So again, it's like, you know, this is all kind of newer for me on the script side, but and I know you do Mac stuff all the time. So it's like being able just to write this in versus having to like do that in a numbox or something and just like quickly test out different like coefficients. Pretty nice with script code versus Macs. Something I'm just thinking about off the top of my head, but you know, not they both. I will always use both, but that's an interesting observation I'm just kind of having. Oh, for watching streams. Okay, thank you for being like smart about it. I think I can put plugins in. I need to put in like a friggin' limiter, which I'm sure I could do quite easily, and I should just do that now, honestly. Okay, I think I turned my stream down by like 10%. Maybe that helps. I should probably just get a compressor though or something. Hopefully that's not too quiet. You can let me know maybe. Okay, so let's look at this code. Let's look at this. This was actually, I got to thank the AI on this one again. I got to thank the AI. No, okay, thank you. So, okay, so we have this control circle. Now, the center is the canvas width divided by 2, right? And the height is the width divided by 2. So that should be in the middle, right? Now, I would kind of like a click and drag style effect, much like we have on the sliders, right? So we kind of have that, right? A mouse down event. But I would like something continuous, maybe. So we could probably look to our slider code and see if there's any valuable information there, right? But okay, so we have that. Let's go down to, let's just look at our event listeners, right? And it must, this pointer down and pointer up must be like a drag style. Explain this, please. Okay, so let's try that. So let's try a pointer down. Let's see, what is the difference between a pointer down and pointer up? Event listener. Okay, pointer down is fired like a mouse button or touch is pressed down on an element. In other words, it's the moment when the user starts clicking a mouse button, starts pressing a stylus. Perfect. The event is fired when a pointer device is released over an element. This is when the user releases a mouse button. So these events are often used together to track user interaction. For example, you might set a flag to say true on pointer down, then set it back to false on pointer up. So that's probably what we have in this code. Let's make sure. Okay, so all right. Let's just try this. Okay. So let's look at this. So pointer down, right? On this pointer down, we trigger an event, which is another function. We're going to create a new variable called rectangle or rect, which is the. Let's maybe look that one up. Were you at MDN? Interesting, we're creating a circle and, we get this rect. Returns, okay, what does this object do? I wonder, okay. So it's returning a rectangle, but we probably want a circle, if that's possible. See also anything? Luca Donis? No. Sorry, Luca. Let's go back to mouse down. What do you got for us? So get angle xy. This is a function that calculates the angle between the horizontal axis and a line from the center canvas to point xy. And where are these defined? Okay. All right. So that basically makes sense, right? This is getting our angle. How's it getting our angle? It's looking at the difference between the horizontal axis and a line from the center of the canvas to a point X or Y. It uses the math.atan for the difference between Y and X function, which returns the angle in the plane in radians between the positive x-axis and the ray from 0 to point y. Okay, so I don't really care about the angle. Can you return? See if we can update this. So yeah, let's look at the updated code here. Okay, so we already have the circle drawn here. I think this can stay. Define the circle parameters. So, I mean, I think that's fine, right? I think we can use this get control value. keeps on sending me this angle. I don't want this damn angle. All right, let's change up. Let's do something like a little more beat oriented. Oh God, it's still droning.
Years revolutionizing how you carry your essentials.
Oh
Ridge
God,
is
you have to
having
hear
their
that.
once-a-year anniversary.
This is like a little too upbeat, TBH. All right. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so we have a radius. This is where we draw our circle called CTX. That's all looking good. We're cool with that. Okay. A lot of ways to do this code. Okay. Okay. Let's do this again. Getting a little distracted, brain's a little fried. That's all good. Okay, so, okay. Okay, we want to control the circle. It's called circle control. Okay, get control values. We get a little typo in here. Oh, this is all in one function. So let's do this. Let's try that. And what do we actually need? So mouse down. And we're now going to pass it the get control values. Which looks pretty friggin' similar, honestly. So I think we have to assign one of these to each, huh? So we'll make an X and Y one, and what is this function called? The structuring here is throwing me off a little bit. Okay, I think we broke it a little bit. That's all right. So, okay. So let's just go to param x. Right, okay, so that kind of works, right? We move along the x value, and that goes up. Now the question is, why should be going? We should be going up as well, but that's because it's scaled to 0 and 1. So for volume parameter, I think we're gonna want to, it's between 0 and 1, so we'll probably want to multiply that. We can do 0.5, or let's do, what would be half? It would be that 158 range divided by 2. So 58, 59? Okay. 79, I'm crazy. Okay. So let's do this. All right. I mean, that's something, right? So we can play with this a little more. What we need to do is actually make sure we're getting the mouse down. And it's only going to half the range, huh? Yeah, so I wonder why the Y value is off a little bit, so we can look into that. So control values. All right. So dx is x minus the center of x. And then y is y minus the center of y. And so, yeah, we're just taking the difference. Now we can normalize the distance by the radius of the circle. So control of x is allows it to scale to this radius size, which we set to 80. Can we try this for a radius instead? Okay, so it looks like it only has half the range, huh? That actually works, but so let's keep that the same, I think. Normalize the distances by the radius of the circle. Clamp the control values. Okay, so we're updating this here. So math max is -1. Math min is 1. Let's flip those. I hate to say this, but and let's actually, yeah, let's have it explain that code. That's a little verbose for me, but it's, so what is this doing? So first things first is we get the math min of it, right? So the smallest amount it could be, yeah, I want a little explanation. So math min, that's interesting that it kind of works in both ways. Yeah, this is something you just kind of have to remember then. So math min was kind of like, they kind of like do the opposite maybe of what you would assume. All right, I guess that kind of makes sense. Well, it does feel like there's maybe a mismatch in terms of it's not accurately representing the circle. Because, like, yeah, we go for y. Unit only works in the bottom half of this range. Maybe look at the function. So you can start to cheat with this stuff. Let's get our mouse down. So same thing. Is this really the only change? This is kind of shocking to me. So the max is 2 and the min is 1. Okay, so we need the entire circle, right? I mean, I think this is probably it. Don't think that was it. All right. So what do we have going on here? We get some errors in here. Cool. Okay. Well, I think we're going to chill on that today. It's kind of been a long day. So we have to fix the circle, but we're making good progress. So I think we'll have to rebuild this and make sure our parameter ranges are good for all of our params. And then we'll fix the scaling to be more of kind of like a glidey XY. But I think this is all totally doable pretty easily. I feel like we've gone a lot of the way there. So yes, Susas, yeah, hope you're good. Thank you for hanging today. Salsa, I'm sure I'm butchering it too. But yeah, anyway, maybe you're seeing that eclipse up there in Massachusetts. I know that's next week. I may actually try to go up that way, maybe to like Vermont or something, which I'm excited about. So yeah, anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. So yeah, have a good one and chat soon. Oh, you are? That's awesome. That's awesome. I am staying in New Hampshire, and then we may be going to Burlington. Yeah, feel free to DM me. I think we're going to go to Concord or something like that. So anyway, yeah, thanks for tuning in, and definitely, yeah, send me updates too. We'll catch you next